Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Leo here. Caden, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you, Max?
I'm doing well myself. The NBA landscape, Caden, has definitely started to shake up now within these past week since we've done our last podcast. So let's jump right into it. Tell us, what are your thoughts on everything?
Yeah, before we start talking on the Nuggets, just probably mention, the stupid in-season tournament starts again this week.
It does.
So it'll be just started by the time you guys see this. And, we'll talk about that. I still think it's a really stupid thing. I know it's just a money grab by the NBA, but we'll obviously talk about it because
it's talk about
it, and the courts are obviously still disgusting.
Yeah, and so we're gonna
that'll be more next
have
week,
coverage on that. Yeah, next week. But Caden, you talked about the Nuggets.
Yep.
They're finally starting to get going.
They're finally starting to look like Nuggets. Yeah, like you said. So yeah, first game, that really needs worth talking about is that game against the Thunder last week.
Yes, big win.
I remember. Yeah, me and my dad we were driving down somewhere. We're listening to VSiN. They were talking so bad about the Nuggets. They're like,
oh yeah,
because there
was
no AG,
well,
especially because that game was no AG, no Murray, and all the VSiN guys are like, Thunder should easily be able to cover the 7.5. Like, how about a parlay? Like, then someone's like, who has it worse off, the Bucks or the Nuggets? He's like, how about a parlay of them both to miss the playoffs? And I'm like, oh, that's they think, yeah, exactly. They're thinking bad
with
about
the best player in
the world.
The world, you're gonna miss playoffs.
And then what do? Oh, nothing. They just go out as that 7-point dog without Mo, without AG, and they beat the Thunder by 2, who at the time were undefeated, gave them their first loss of the season. Jokic goes out there, goes 23, 20, and 16. Only the second 20-20-15 game since Wilt Chamberlain. And, he ran that game. Russ played really good, in the starting role, put up over 20 points.
Caden, I'm glad you brought up Russell Westbrook because stepping into that starting lineup with Jamal Murray down, he has been phenomenal.
Yep.
Let's give him credit. Now, I told you earlier in the season, I really liked the Russ pickup.
I did too.
I didn't think he was going to be started.
No, obviously not.
And I'm going to even go to say he's outperforming even how I thought he would be playing, Caden.
Yeah, especially in these games where he's got the start. He's looked a lot better, especially than he did at the start where he was missing every shot he took, basically.
He settled in.
And he's looking more like Russ. And I said it last week, and it's still true. Christian Braun has hit his over on points now in 10 of 10 games. So before the sports books, get wise to White Lightning, Christian Braun, look at him. Look at those props. Because he's now 10 for 10 over, and he's averaging almost 16 points a game. With AG out, you've had Payne Watson get in as well, who just last night, which we'll get to this Mavs game in a sec, Payne Watson was 4 for 4 from 3, 16 points, still playing that elite defense. But in that Thunder game, Payne Watson, they get up 2 towards the end of the game. Shea tries to drive for the game-tying bucket to send it to overtime. And what does PY do, Max?
What does he do, bench?
Swats that thing. He swat his back, baby.
Yes, he is.
Probably our best defender on the team. Swats the ball, wins the game right there. Yeah, they get that big win over the Thunder. Then this weekend on Saturday, or not Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. They play the Heat. And
it was
lo and behold, they killed the Heat. It got a little close in the fourth quarter, but besides that, the Nuggets were dominating this second game. They put up 40 in the first quarter. The one thing that is a little worrisome with the Nuggets still is the defense. They've been giving up a lot of points. Like their offense,
they have. It's been sketchy.
Yeah, like they're averaging the most starter points out of any team in the NBA this year, which is awesome to see.
But no bench production.
The bench, it depends. Julian Strawther's doing good.
Strawther hasn't.
When Russ is on the bench, he's been putting up some good stats. But
he's been in a lot.
Hey. Jamal came back for the Heat game.
Yeah.
Jamal put up 20.
You're right.
The starters in that game, I think the lowest scoring starter in that game was 15.
Which is highly impressive.
Or no, it was 14, and that was P. Watt. He was our lowest starter in that entire game. You put up 135, you win by 13. But the Nuggets defense is a problem that we need to especially worry about because, they're giving up a lot more points than they should. That it makes it hard for, even though they have this elite offense, makes it hard for them to be able to just easily win these games, because they're giving up so many points.
Okay, Caden, so what would your suggestion be then? What do you think the Nuggets need to do in order to improve that defense?
I don't know really yet if it's, do you need to trade for someone or just figure it out? Because, Christian Braun is still a good perimeter defender.
Yeah.
P. Watt is still a good defender.
And those are developing guys as well, so they're only going to get better.
Those two, but, obviously we know Jokic ain't a good like that.
He
can get steals, he can get a couple blocks, but he's not a really good defender. Jamal's obviously not a good defender.
He struggled.
Porter We need to see him.
Sometimes he
Yeah,
can.
like we saw last year, he started making those
He'll
improvements.
clamp randomly. He'll be clamps sometimes.
And they'll just get blown by.
Yeah.
Like, you need to see him. And then when AG's healthy, it helps a lot. Because he's definitely able to limit.
He's the enforcer of the team.
Exactly. So, I mean, when he gets back in a couple weeks, that'll help him a lot. Really, it's going to come down, I think, those bench players. Because when the bench is on the court, even though, obviously they're not scoring a lot of points, they give up so many points. It's going to come really down to this bench unit. Can they be able to limit buckets on the non-Jokic minutes where they're throughout his entire career have been getting throttled?
Yeah, Caden, all good points. Definitely going to be cool to see how the Nuggets continue to develop, and we'll be sure to give you guys more updates on this storyline as the season continues.
One more thing with the Nuggets, though. Even last night against the Mavericks, Kyrie put up 43. So, yeah, you're not playing good teams. But Jokic, once again, 37, 18, and 15. They were able to win by 2. Because that whole fourth quarter, it was
Kyrie.
That whole fourth quarter was Kyrie and Jokic just trading buckets.
Dude, that
back
was
and forth. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah.
Very stressful as a Nuggets fan. But, I mean, it's good to see when the offense needs a point, you just give it to Jokic, and he's going to find a way.
I'll be there when they come back to Denver next weekend.
So you should be in store for another great game.
It's going to be a great game.
No, though, another team that we'll talk about is also in the Western Conference. They're a game ahead of the Nuggets right now. They're actually in first place of the Western Conference, which is surprising to look. It's the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. They are 8-2, first in the conference. And I mean,
Buddy Hield, kid.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was
going on.
I mean, we'll get to Curry in a second, who's been playing really well. But yeah, Buddy Hield. You get him this offseason.
Oh, I knew he was going to do well, too.
And historically, he's one of the best percentage and volume three-point shooters in NBA history.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it on every team he's been on, whether be the Sixers last year, especially too, especially when Embiid got hurt. He was able to come in, help that offense drastically, and get a bunch of threes. Now this year, Buddy Hield on the Warriors, he's still coming off the bench, but he's averaging 18 points a game on 47% three-point shooting.
Kid, when you're a team like the Warriors who got rid of Clay and you're moving around some pieces, to come out and look the way they've looked so far, you just got to go, why? What? How does this dynasty keep going on? And I hope it doesn't continue to play out long, kid. But when you have Stephen Curry at the end of the day as a core piece on your team, and you got those other young players starting to step up and really, shaping up as experienced veterans now on that Golden State Warriors team, they might be dangerous again, kid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Buddy Hield he's the vet on the bench, and he's doing amazing there. Because in your starting lineup, you have a bunch of youngsters still with like a Kevon Looney.
Yep.
You have Pods in there. So really in the starting lineup, your big veteran is Curry. And he might not be scoring as much really to start the year. But he's averaging 6.5 assists a game, which is upwards towards his career high of assists per game. And so when they've been needing, let's say Curry's not shooting, he's still shooting well, obviously.
Of course.
But when, he's able to pass the ball and the other dudes are making buckets for him, the whole team is like gelling together and looking like a scary team in the West where we're at the start of the season, especially a lot of people thought maybe they'd be around more towards the bubble. And to start this year, they're looking really good.
Great point as well, kid, and I agree.
Yeah. Last team I want to talk about, we're going to the East. This is a team that's been a little disappointing, to start the year, and the New York Knicks. They're 5-4, No, they're 4-5. My bad, I misspoke.
And we know the big trade from this offseason.
Yeah, they're 4-5, 5th in the East. And let's talk about that big trade, Mikal Bridges. He's shooting his worst percentage from three in his entire career. In this offseason, they're talking about how he's going to change he's trying to tweak his shooting form. It's like, no, you've just been having your like the best seasons of your career. Yeah. Why are you going out here? You're only averaging 15 points a game, and you're shooting 31% from three as a career 37% three-point shooter.
To be fair, new team, new circumstances, Caden. It's still very early. We saw with a team like the Nuggets, they start slow and slowly start to figure things out. Give this team a little more time.
I still believe in the Knicks. It's really though, like
Bolt.
Mikal Bridges, go back to the shooting form. Like you're taking 7 threes a game and barely making a little over 2 of them a game. Like you were on this team to play wing, play defense in the perimeter, be that great wing defender that you are, and to hit the 3 ball. While you're still playing that good perimeter defense, you're not hitting the 3 ball and it's not been close. Like you're by far below your career average, and especially these last couple of years when you've been closer to the 40%, even on a high volume.
Yes.
You need that, especially to tick up with the Knicks. And then, with, Jalen Brunson, obviously he had the like his big breakout year last year, averaging
Yeah.
about 30 points a game. This year, I mean, it's 25, so that's still really good.
Yeah,
It's
solid.
just and he's still shooting the ball. Like he's 48% from the field.
Just the volume of shots.
Like Jalen Brunson is still playing good, like good Jalen Brunson basketball. It's really like the surrounding cast that hasn't been helping him, whether it be Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns is still trying to find his footing.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece as well,
Yeah.
Ken. I'm glad you brought it up because I was interested to see how he was going to fit onto that
Yep.
team, and it's been interesting.
It's been interesting. It seems like, especially right now, you're missing Dante DiVincenzo, who's having a rough start in Minnesota, and you're missing Julius Randle, who's playing really well. Because I mean, yes, you have Cat, you have probably the best shooting big man in the league. It's just, I don't know.
You need more than that.
You need, obviously, it's a lot of new roster pieces in this starting lineup, but you need it to start gelling together. I know it's a weak Eastern Conference. You could win 40 games and you're going to make the playoff. But you need to find a way to, gel together, get Cat going, get Mikal going. So Jalen Brunson doesn't have to take all the load. You still have OG, who's a great perimeter defender with Mikal and can score in the paint. But really, you need the new acquisition, especially Mikal. You gave up 5 first-round picks for, which is the most ever in a trade. You need to find a way for him to start working with the team.
Big point, Caden. Again, we're going to continue to be active in giving you guys some of our thoughts on the big NBA storylines. Still early, but tournament action soon.
Yep.
That's what we're going to be on top about next week.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, share with all your friends, family, whoever, because we got a lot more Untouchaballs coming your way.
Yes, we do. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next time.